Hi, so it's me again, just going to have a quick chat to you again about AI in education, AI in economics, and let's see what can and is possible. First, a story. In 2012, the company Target sent pregnancy-related coupons to a teenager's house. Her father was furious. He stormed into the store. "My daughter is in high school. Why are you sending her diaper coupons?" Target apologised. A week later, the father came back. He apologised, and turns out his daughter was pregnant. Target's algorithm knew before the family did. Now here's the scary part. That was 2012, right? 13 years ago. Today's algorithms predict your music taste with 95% accuracy. Your career path, your credit risk, your dating matches, your health issues, whether you'll pay back a loan, whether you'll commit a crime. And now you can think and talk about using AI to predict which students are going to fail their economics class. Should we use it? All right, I'm David, I'm an IB economics teacher, and today we're delving into one of the most controversial applications of Gen AI in education. There is no easy answers, just uncomfortable questions. Proudly sponsored by Red Bull. But wouldn't it be cool? Red Bull, talking to you. So here's the scenario. Your school is piloting an AI-based academic advisor. It analyzes your grades, your students' grades, the attendance patterns, socioeconomic data, engagement metrics, maybe behavioral indicators. And it predicts 83% accuracy which students are going to struggle in economics. It then might recommend interventions before they fail. Extra tutoring, modified assignments, teacher check-ins, that sounds good, right? Early intervention, personalised support, and data-driven education. But here's where it gets complicated. Question 1. You didn't necessarily consent to the analysis. The AI is making predictions about the future based on the past. Is that okay? Question 2, if you are flagged as being at risk, will that label affect your performance? Will your teacher start treating you differently? And is it then becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy? Question 3, the AI learned the information from historical data. What is that data? Are there gaps in the data? If the AI has learned from those patterns, is it accurate in its predictions going forward? These aren't hypothetical questions. This is potentially able to happen in schools right now. So let's break this down. Let's use actual economics frameworks. Let's start with information economics. Asymmetric information. The algorithm knows something about you that you don't know yourself. That's asymmetric information. In markets, this creates problems. Used car salesmen know more about a car than you do. That's adverse selection. Here, the AI knows the probability of failure. You don't. How does that change behavior? Signaling theory. Being flagged as being at risk sends a signal to teachers, to administrators, maybe to future colleges if this data then gets shared. Labour markets, we talk about signals, your degree, your experience, your references. They are a signal of your quality to different employers. Here, being flagged will signal that this student will struggle. But what if that signal is wrong? And you are amongst the 17% that the algorithm gets wrong. You're then labelled, and those labels might stick. The economic question is the information asymmetry worth reducing? If the AI gives the school information they don't have before, then that's valuable, but it does create new asymmetries. The school knows things about you that you may not know, and you have no way to challenge the algorithm's predictions. Who benefits from that information asymmetry? The school, right? More efficient interventions. The students, maybe, if that intervention helps. The AI company, they get paid. Who bears the risk? The student themselves, if the prediction is wrong or if the label might harm them. What about externalities? Let's look. Positive externalities. Early intervention helps the students to succeed. Better graduation rates benefit society, and more efficient resource allocation with regards to where they end up. Teachers can personalise support. Negative externalities. What about the labelling effects? Privacy loss. Your data is now a predictive data. Algorithmic bias, if there is other data that's been used or if there are gaps in it. Psychological impacts. How would you feel knowing all that you've been predicted? Let's look at a cost-benefit analysis. What are the costs? Monetarily, what does the AI system cost? Could that money instead be used to hire more teachers? Privacy issues. What is the value of not being analysed? How could you even price that? Psychologically, what is the cost of being labelled, of the anxiety, of the stigma? Then what are the benefits? Let's look at those. Academic, you might end up with higher pass rates, maybe better grades. What about efficiency, where resources are then able to go where they're actually needed? The equity issue is there, catching struggling students early, especially those who might not ask for help. Okay, so let's look at the maths. Let's imagine 1,000 students and 83% accuracy. So 830 are correct, 170 would be wrong. Of those 170, you'd have false positives, students who are flagged who would have succeeded anyway but are now labelled. You'll have false negatives, students who missed, right? They're missed, who actually do need help, but they fall through the net, right? What is the cost of a false positive? A student who succeeds despite being labelled at risk, but did that label harm their confidence? What is the cost of a false negative? A student who fails, who could have been helped. Which of them is worse? There's probably no objective answer. It's probably more based on values. So here's the thought, right? Let's have a look at it even further. Market failure. If we see education as a market, right? Parents choosing schools, schools competing for students, schools competing for resources. But it's not a perfect market. We've got information problems, we've got externalities and equity issues. Has the AI that's been created solved the market failure? Could it solve the information failure? Teachers don't have perfect information about their students, and those students might need help. AI could provide that, but it can create new failures, right? Like the algorithmic bias. If the training data reflects existing inequalities, AI will just reinforce that. Maybe lower income students might have historically scored lower. The AI will learn that and then predict that, flagging lower income students maybe more often, or different groups of students. Self-fulfilling prophecies, the digital divide. Think about premium AI tools that cost money. The wealthier schools get the better AI, the poorer schools get, worse AI or no AI. The achievement gap then widens. Data becomes a commodity. Your student data then has value. The AI companies want it, the schools might then basically sell it. Who owns your educational data? Who profits from it? So the equity question. Let's take 3 students. Student A from a wealthy school with advanced AI, personalised everything, they're flagged early, they're given support and they succeed. Student B from a poor school with basic AI, flagged at risk based on historical data about students from those schools. The label sticks, teachers have low expectations, students internalise that and then they fail. Student C, a poor school with no AI, falls through the crack, no one notices until it's too late and they fail. Which scenario is most equitable, most fair? Which one is more efficient? They're different questions and they have different answers. So maybe that's where we are. Let's have 3 positions and maybe no right answer. Position A, we've got a moral obligation to use this technology. If AI can predict student failure and we don't use it, are we then letting the students fail when we could have helped? That would be unethical. The technology exists, use it. Position B, it is more surveillance-based. Students become data points. One bad semester shouldn't define you. The algorithm can't account for human potential, for growth, for second chances. It's dehumanizing. Position C. Here we go. The AI isn't the problem. It's just revealing the problem. If the AI predicts certain demographics will fail, maybe the situation isn't the predictions. Maybe it's the system, the issues that make those predictions accurate. Don't predict around poverty. Maybe just solve poverty. All three have economic and ethical merits to them. Which one is right? Well, that depends on your values, on what you think education is for, and who you think should be benefiting from technology. All right, here's your challenge. If there was an AI academic advisor, if it cost $50,000, that might be a whole teacher or several teachers' salary. Should you buy it? Option 1, buy the AI, flag the at-risk students, provide targeted interventions. Option 2, buy the teachers, more human support but maybe less data-driven. Option 3, spend the money on systematic improvements, teacher training, smaller class sizes, updated materials. What would you choose and why? This is economic analysis. What are the costs? What are the benefits? What are the externalities? Who benefits? Who doesn't? What is the opportunity cost of that? What equity implications are there? And here's the kicker. Whatever we choose, it's real life, someone will lose. Right? Maybe it's the students who are mislabeled and they pay the price. Maybe it's students who fall through the cracks without the data. Maybe they pay the price. Maybe students who need immediate intervention, they pay the price. There is no perfect answer, only defended decisions with understood trade-offs. That's economics and that is life. It's not really an argument about AI in schools. It's about how we use the AI, how we use the data, who controls it and who benefits from it. These are questions that, sorry to say, we need to answer. All right? AI used in hiring, AI used in healthcare, criminal justice, dating apps, in everything. All of the tools that we need to use to analyze those questions, you've got them. Information economics, externalities, cost-benefit analysis, equity versus efficiency. Economics isn't just about supply and demand, it's about a way of thinking about hard problems that have no easy answers. So what would you do? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's debate this. Please like, comment, subscribe. All right? Thank you very much for listening. Hei kōnera, and I will see you next time.